Kia ora and welcome to the Run Adjacent podcast, proudly supported by Trick Trail and Fish. Be sure to visit their website tricktrailfish.co.nz and use my discount code RA10. That will get you 10% off your order, and orders over $150 will get you free shipping. We're super stoked to have teamed up with Sport Northland events to bring you over the next few episodes the HotPrintz Bay of Islands Run Walk Festival special. The event is happening on Sunday the 26th of May. The HotPrintz Bay of Islands Run Walk Festival is a staple on the Northland running calendar, originally starting out as a Mother's Day run or walk over the 6 or 8.7 kilometre course. Over time, this has evolved with the introduction of a half marathon distance. This year's event will also include Sport Northland's first ever ultra marathon event, the Trek Trail and Fish 50k. Putting on an event of this size involves a huge amount of support, so we are grateful to the following organisations: naming rights sponsors HotPrintz and Trek Trail and Fish, Northland Inc., the Far North District Council, the Waitangi Mountain Bike Park, the Kirikiri Mountain Bike Club, P.F. Olsen and Northland Forestry Management for use of their trails. Also shout out to the Waitangi Treaty Grounds and Copthorne Waitangi. It's never too late to enter the HotPrintz Bay of Islands Run Walk Festival. Simply visit runwalkseries.co.nz to register. In the meantime, enjoy the first interview with David Haunschmidt, who is coming up from Wellington to participate in the Trek Trail and Fish 50k. As part of our preview for the Trek Trail and Fish 50k Ultra Marathon, I'm very lucky to be joined by David Haunschmidt. David is a Wellington-based trail runner whose resume of achievements include the course record at the Tarawera Ultra Marathon 50k with a time of 3 hours 33:03. He also has the 21k record at Tarawera, the time of 1 hour 24:49. He's ran the Oxford Odyssey 33k event, and he came first there with a time of 3 hours and 19 minutes. He's won the Exterior European Championships in Italy just last year, and he's placed second at the Old Coast Ultra with an awesome time of 7 hours 9 minutes. And just last month, he participated in the Faultline Ultra, where he won that event too. In the 24k, he ran a time of 1 hour 42:57. That was also a course record. So there are plenty of more achievements to this man's name, but I think you get the gist of it. Almost everything he enters, you'll most certainly find his name near the top of the results list. So welcome to the Run Adjacent podcast, David.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the generous introduction. Yeah.
How long have you been running for, David?
Well, I guess I ran a little bit during uni, just as a kind of stress relieving thing in amongst studies and being busy, but then only really found trail running when I came to New Zealand. Well, I came into New Zealand in 2016, but then started trail running maybe 2018. Just all the amazing routes that you've got here. I was walking them initially and, on the DOC website, exploring, and then I realized, you can actually run these. What have I been doing? So, since then, it's been kind of maybe about 6 years now of loving the trails and exploring. Yeah.
It's cool. What do you like most about running, David?
Yeah, I guess the way it makes you feel. It's like a secret club. You kind of ask any runner, and they know it. Like they get it. They get the feeling. It's a very positive force, and I think it makes you a better person. Or makes me a better person. I also like how it's kind of endless. You get, you can set yourself any number of different challenges or adventures, from track to 5k to 100 miles to running up a mountain really fast. It's just so versatile. So running is adventure, and also just exploration, not in only a physical sense, but into your own capability and your mind and your boundaries. So it's just, it's one of these things that I think is a big part of my life, and it's really positive.
Yeah. That is, I think whether you're an extremely good runner like yourself, or whether you're just an average Joe runner like me, I think a lot of people can relate to those sentiments. But yeah, that's really cool to hear it from you, man. What would you say is your most satisfying run that you've done?
My most satisfying run. Ooh, I don't know. uh, there's so many. I think, as I said in the kind of last question, it's so versatile. Like there's so many different types of run you can have. So I have really great enjoyment of coming home from a shift knackered and just going up for a 3K run the block. I've got some nice trails where I live in Wellington. You can get up onto the skyline really easily. So that for me is just joy after a hard day. Or there's been times and events where I've run 50K and felt great, and it's been fantastic to like get on the podium, and it's just one of those lovely memories you've got. So I think it's again quite versatile. You can make running what you want and get joy from it.
Yeah, you're a shift worker at one of the Wellington hospitals, right?
Yes, in Hut. Yeah.
Yeah. So with my running club, we have a couple of people who work at the hospital, and you'll see them after their night shifts, and they'll pop along to our Sunday morning long runs, and you see them when they show up and they're absolutely knackered, but then post run they look fresh as a daisy again. It's like the run has done them a world of good, and they're refreshed again.
Yeah, I definitely can relate with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? It's kind of counterintuitive, but it does refresh you, I think.
Yeah.
And like having done shift work now for 12, 15 years, it's one of these things where you learn to use it well. So definitely, don't neglect the amount of sleep you need and recovery you need, but you can use that run to really make you feel great and refresh yourself and make your shift work tolerable because you're still getting those endorphins and feeling normal again.
Cool. So what has drawn you to the Trick Trail and Fish 50K at the HotPrintz Bay of Islands Run Walk Festival, Dave?
Yeah, so I am quite frequently on running calendar New Zealand and just scoping out different runs in different areas, particularly as I had an injury earlier in the year. So a lot of my big summer plans and races were kaput. Just looking for other stuff to do after I had recovered, which I'm just pretty much there. So running again is to me adventure. So finding new experiences, new places, and this was right up there. Really cool event in a cool place that I have visited before, but never really ran much in Northland. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was a perfect one to come up and see the vibe, the people, the area, the trails. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I was just saying to you earlier, where at Sport Northland, the kind of whole purpose behind bringing on this ultra marathon was to try and bring some tourism back to the Bay of Islands region, and so we're really grateful that you're like the perfect example of that coming north. So I'm sure we'll look forward to welcoming you up here. How are you feeling coming into this event? Do you have any niggles or injuries? What happened to your foot that you just mentioned?
Yeah, I unfortunately broke my foot at the start of February, and it was kind of leading into, I think I had 6 quite big races that I was looking forward to, like during the New Zealand summer season. So kind of had to just cancel all those. It was just one of these unlucky, landed funny and snapped a metatarsal. So it's been 6 weeks, 5 weeks in the moon boot and 7 weeks without running. So just lots of cross training and strength work and cycling. But I've been back now running for a few weeks, and I've done a few events and done really well. So I think I have maintained that fitness. So I'm feeling reasonably good. I am, I don't know why, but this has just worked out with timing. I've signed up for UTA in Australia, which is 50K, which is the 18th of May. And then this event is the 26th of May. So it's 2 back-to-back 50K events. So I'm hoping the recovery in that week is good. I've got a few days off work, so I'm like, I'll just be at home, lie in bed, recover well.
Yeah, you'll be fine, I think.
You'll be fine, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Exactly, yeah.
So with your broken foot and you're stuck in a moon boot, are you just like on an exercise bike? Like, how do you maintain your cardio?
Yeah, it was. I know it was interesting. I think you've got to give it like an initial week or so to just really get that first bit of healing in. So I didn't really do much that week. But then I could put my foot into, rigid cycle shoes. So I've got an indoor cycle trainer that I use all the time anyway. So I was doing a bit of that. And then I just bought a cheap secondhand elliptical trainer from Facebook Marketplace. And then I did a lot of time on that, which I'm not a gym person, so I don't really go to gyms. And I'd always looked at the elliptical as like, you could be quite, lazy on it and just go through the motions and not really put much effort in. But I found that in a moon boot on one of those, you can go pretty hard and get a good workout, actually, if you put in the effort. Yeah. So that was a good thing. I was doing that every couple of days, and it seems to have maintained my cardio fitness pretty well.
Nice.
It's great.
Yeah, well, when you're stuck in a moon boot, I guess you got to find a way to do what works for you, right? So kudos to you.
Yeah, and I followed other people that have had similar injuries, and you have to get creative with it. There's one triathlete I follow, Lucy Charles Barkley, who very similar fracture to me just from running during an event. And she was like 7 weeks out of action. So she's competing to be one of the best triathletes in the world. And she was like doing things, in a moon boot, on gravel rides, like with this big boot on her foot, or putting a skate on her foot for trying to row on like a rowing machine, and like all these creative ways to still get a stimulus and get those muscles working. So yeah, I think if you're motivated, you'll find a way.
Yeah. Wow. So you're feeling pretty confident with UTA, and then following it up with the Bay of Islands Ultra, with the Trick Trail and Fish Ultra.
Well, hopefully, it's always an experiment, isn't it? You can see what your body's capable of. But I've definitely had similar things where I've backed up pretty well in a week's time, events of similar distances. So yeah, I'm hoping the fitness is there.
Nice.
But I mean, again, for me, I don't take myself too seriously. So it's just actually more out of enjoyment and experience. So if I'm not, right up there and it's not my day, I'm still having a good day, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a little chat group, and I kind of mentioned your name to the chat group, and everyone started Googling. And then I think a lot of people are actually excited by the fact that you're coming up for this event. I think it's going to be a real cool experience, having someone of your like coming north to participate. So we're really grateful to you for coming up.
Oh, that's nice. Nice of you to say. Yeah.
This is Sport Northland's first ultra marathon, and the first ultra marathon in Northland since the Te Hautawa Challenge was killed off by COVID. So as an event organizer, we're conscious that for a lot of participants, this may be their first ultra marathon. What kind of advice could you give to first timers doing an ultra marathon of this type? Like maybe like the week leading in?
Yeah, so I think it's quite soon now. So I'll can concentrate on the week leading in, the kind of last few things you can do in your prep. Because I guess a lot of the training is now done and dusted. So yeah, for me, again, I've been doing events now for kind of 5-6 years and learned a few things along the way, including how not to do things. Definitely give yourself enough taper, enough rest in that kind of week leading up. Everyone's different, but certainly, you need good time for your body to feel just ready and raring to go. You want that kind of nervous energy feeling, I think, just in the days leading up. Eat enough, don't eat too much, so you're just trickling in carbs all the time. Get plenty of sleep. Don't panic sleeping the night before. You kind of the best evidence is those kind of 2, 3, 4 days leading up. That's your solid sleep days, and then the day before, it's like everyone gets some rubbish sleep. So just deal with it. And then on race day, if you're nervous, go speak to someone at the start line. We're all in it together. It's always a really nice community. So it's a really nice way to dissipate your nerves. Just have a chat and have a yarn about your journeys to get there. And just remind yourself you've done the work. You're on that start line. You've done the hard bit, and now on the day it's just enjoying yourself and getting to experience those trails.
Yeah. Those are really wise words. When I ran my first ultra marathon, I basically just bunched myself towards the back of the first wave, and I just found someone who was basically running my pace, and we just chatted. and just talking to someone can almost flatten the hills, if that makes sense. Like it takes your mind off the activity that you're doing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's actually, yeah, it can actually, it feels like it can reduce the length of an event, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, I think what we need to reiterate is that everyone is individualistic. You got to do what works for you, and don't do anything new on race day.
That's a good one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what works for you for your breakfast, then stick to that. For me, it's 2 slices of peanut butter on toast. But for some others, they like to eat lots of porridge. Others like to eat next to nothing. But yeah, it's find out what works for you and stick to that. Don't do anything new on race day.
That's a massive one. Yeah, I do a bit of coaching of other runners, and one of the things we try and institute before a race is, maybe a month out or something, is to do some practice run sessions. Exactly same wake up time, same breakfast, same equipment, same nutrition, and like similar kind of terrain, as just basically doing the race, doing the motions before the event. So on the day, it just feels like you just, routine, doing your thing, and everything works for you. And certainly, I think one of the biggest reasons you're going to have a bad day is nutrition. So if you can dial in what works for you for that morning breakfast and what you're using during the event, then yeah, you're going to be golden. It takes a bit of trial and error sometimes. And actually, to be fair, it's the 1st of May now, so you've got time to do that kind of sim, longer run with all your stuff for sure.
Yeah. Can I ask you a random question? When should first-time participants do their last long run?
Yeah, I mean, it's individual again. I think I know some people, and I think the longer you're in the sport, you get better at doing this, at recovering really well. So I know some people that do pretty long distances leading up, like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right before the event, whereas others almost take a full week off and just do a few short strides here and there. So it's just finding what works for you. I think the best advice if you're new to running is go on that cautious side, like have your long run 2 weeks out, and then like the week before, just do something a little bit shorter, but still giving that stimulus. So similar kind of terrain and hills that you would expect in the event.
Yeah.
But again, it's just that kind of finding your own secrets, your own magic that works for you.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Awesome, David. Was there anything else?
No, that's great. Yeah, thanks for having me on, and I really look forward to coming up and meeting you all. And I was saying earlier, massive kudos and congrats on the podcast. I've listened to a few episodes, and I love what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you very much, man. We certainly do appreciate it. It's cool. Awesome. Thank you for making it through to the end of the Bay of Islands the HotPrintz Bay of Islands Run Walk preview. I hope you enjoyed that. In the next episode, Mel, Dwayne, and myself will preview the event. We'll chat about the course and what to expect, and mention some names who will be participating in the event. A big thank you to my show sponsor, Trick Trail and Fish. Visit them at tricktrailfish.co.nz. Don't forget my running discount RA10 that will get you 10% off your order. If you're new to the Run Adjacent podcast, please make sure that you follow or subscribe on the platform that you're listening to, and if your platform allows, please leave a rating or review. It helps keeps us relevant in the podcast algorithm world. You can find Run Adjacent on Facebook and Instagram. It's at Run Adjacent. Lockie, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Till next time, happy running!